Did Lot's wife really turn into a pillar of salt? In my previous video, I talked about Genesis chapter 19. I said I'd make a second video about Lot's wife turning into a pillar of salt. I'll tell you what I learned growing up. I was raised Jehovah's Witness, and we had books that we would read as children. I had books I read that they had, Listening to the Great Teacher and my book of Bible stories. And when I learned about Lot's wife, I was taught it literally happened. That's what I believe. Do I believe that now? It's hard to believe, but I find it is believable. Here's why. God can do whatever he wants. So when Lot's wife looked back, it showed that she was disobeying God. And that was God's wrath upon Lot's wife. Now, Sodom and Gomorrah is located near the Dead Sea, and there are salt pillars and salt formations in that area that kind of give relevance to the account of Lot's wife. So I do believe it did happen, but I do understand if it does sound doubtful. Some scientists have mentioned that there was a massive explosion around the area of the Dead Sea, but it's debatable that the actual place that the explosion took place was Sodom and Gomorrah. But they did say that this massive explosion could have been like a meteor shower or something similar to that. It's possible that such meteor shower is what the Lord did in Genesis chapter 19. It could be related to the event that scientists actually mention. That's, like I said, that's hard to actually prove from what I've gathered from my research. Now, there are some biblical scholars who think that Lot's wife turning into a pillar of salt is more of a moral lesson, reminding people not to disobey God. And by telling this account of Lot's wife, it's just reminding you need to obey the Lord. But I don't think that it should be grouped with a parable like Jesus's parables. Because Jesus did say, remember Lot's wife in the New Testament as a warning, which leads me to believe, since he says that it actually did happen, since he's using that as an example from the Old Testament, telling us to remember, I think it's different than him giving the actual parables that he gives in the New Testament. As an interesting tidbit, I wanted to know if you could use those salt pillars that are located near the Dead Sea, if you could use them for cooking. This is just something that I wanted to know myself. And from my research, they said that the salt pillars do taste salty. It's not recommended that you use them for cooking because there's clay and other types of debris within the salt, these salt formations. So if you use it for cooking, you'd have these other things in there that you wouldn't want. But they said if you broke off a piece and licked it, it does taste salty. But they did say that a lot of these salt formations, they are protected. So you're not supposed to be breaking it off and eating it. There is a salt formation that resembles a woman, and the salt pillar is actually called Lot's wife. And the reason why it's called that is because it looks like a woman standing there, kind of resembles that shape. I will post links to the different places where I went to do my research for this video. And on that note, I wanted to encourage you to check out my Christmas holiday romance book bundle. All of the books are wholesome, sweet Christian love stories. Rocky Road Dreams is a story about Kyle. Kyle is an identical twin who's an alcoholic. He's had a crush on Melanie since he was a child. Now that he's grown up, he has given up alcohol. He fell off the wagon for a while and he's now back on the wagon. He wants to reconnect with Melanie and see if they can get together and perhaps have a relationship. You never know. But Kyle has a lot of problems. Number one, he remembers his mother. His mother died when he was 3, but he still has memories of her. He's curious about her. Since his father recently passed away, he has gone through his father's things. He discovers several boxes of his mother's things that he didn't know existed. When he looks through these boxes, he finds, if you want to know what he finds, you must read the book. And Melanie has her own set of problems. She needs to mentor her cousin Chloe in order for her funding to come through for her health food store. Chloe's dad is her uncle, is Melanie's uncle. He offers to help Melanie open up her own business financially if she mentors Chloe, but Chloe has a lot of issues. When she mentors her, a lot of things happen. Somebody disappears, and it's a mystery going to find somebody. So there's so many things wrapped up in this wonderful story. If you want to know more about it, I'll leave the link for the whole book bundle. All the books are highly reviewed, 5-star rated. So I will leave the links in the comments. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.